Monitors. We control monitors from front of house. Each band member has their own monitor. They wear in-ear headphones, IEMs, in-ear monitors, okay? Typically, we would call the kind that go over the ear headphones, or sometimes they're called cans, because they're just like old school. They were like they were big and bulky, like a can of soup over your ear. Okay, so they're sometimes called cans. Most often, we're using the ones that go in the ear, and they're called in-ear monitors. There are custom-made ones, and there are universal ones. Universal ones, you just go buy off the shelf. You put a piece of foam on the end, and it goes in and fills your ear. Custom-made ones, you can go, and there's technology where they can shoot a foam in your ear, take a mold of your ear, send it to whatever manufacturer you choose to purchase, and they make a piece that is molded to your ear. They're called customs or molds most often. There's even technology now where you can go to an audiologist and they'll use a laser to take a 3D print of your ear. So there's no foam. They take a picture 3D and it replicates it. And so then you order your ears with your prints, and it comes, and what that does is it creates a really great seal. So it blocks out all the unwanted noise and allows you to control what is going in your ear with the most control. Rather than with the universals, like it seals it off, but there's still like some bleed coming in. Okay, so that's really the whole benefit of in-ear monitor. That's why they were first created. If you didn't know, a little fun piece of history. Back in the late 80s, early 90s, you know, Ryan? Yeah, somewhere in there. There's a guy named Jerry Harvey. He was running monitors for Van Halen. Eddie Van Halen wanted more of himself, and there was one company called Westone making custom-made hearing aids at the time. There was no in-ear monitoring on stage. Everybody had wedges, floor monitors out, and stages were super loud. You know, the guitarist there had his amps back there super loud, and his monitor here super loud, and the singer here had his vocal super loud, and the drummer's bleeding in everywhere, and everybody was super loud, and that's why old rockers are deaf, you know? And so Eddie Van Halen wanted more of himself, and Jerry Harvey said, I'm gonna fix this, and he made the first molded in-ear monitor for Eddie Van Halen to hear more of himself without more speakers, more wedges, more monitors, more volume on stage. So what that has done is that has helped our musicians' hearing health night after night or week after week, long term. They're able to control what's in their mix. It gives them individual mixes, so I can hear as much of myself as I want and not hear that person's monitor bleeding over, okay? And then for things like, we use a click, which is a metronome that keeps everybody in time. That can go in their ears and not in the monitors, obviously. We don't want the crowd hearing that. It's not pleasant. But that can go in there. So that's what in-ear monitors, that's why we use those. It creates personalization. It's for hearing health and then separation for each person to hear their own thing. Okay? So this is an example of a wired in-ear pack. Okay, so each player would have one of these. We would send a signal to it, a stereo signal via an XLR into it. It would get power here, and then they would plug in their headphones into here and have a volume control. We would then control the mix of what's being sent to this from the soundboard. We would control it at their request. Can I get more of this, less of that, this up, down, et cetera, et cetera. And so all of our what we call the backline band, which would be drums, bass, electrics, keys, anybody in the back line, as in not a frontline singer. Nothing of importance or anything like that, just frontline, backline, it's an easier term. So all of our backline singers would use these wired packs. Our frontline singers are all on wireless ear packs. So again, in your rack, there would be a transmitter there, which we send a signal into, just like we would send into this, except that unit would then send it out wirelessly to this. So the singer would then plug in their headphones into here, and they have a volume knob here to control it. And just the same way we control the mix from the board to adjust for what they need and ask for during the sound checks, okay?